you want to go grab coffee?
Hey everyone, so I didn't do an intro to this video. We get right into the tutorial. We're going to start with using our drape tape to create our design on our dress form. I started off with the design ending at the natural waist, but you'll see soon that I'm going to change it and extend the waist a little bit more down and give it more of a V shape. Once you finish using your drape tape and you like the design, you're going to use your muslin to create the pattern pieces. You're going to use the pin and cut method, smooth out your muslin as you're going to create your pattern pieces and create an outline and label what these pieces are. So good morning you guys, it's the next day and it's so gloomy today. You would think it's nighttime right now because I have to use my lights. It's a gloomy ass day. We did our muslin pieces and we're gonna put these on paper now. I went ahead and ironed my muslin pieces off camera, and then I'm adding them to this pattern paper to then use the tracing wheel and create our pattern pieces. You always want to label your pattern pieces. I learned this in fashion school, so I'm just teaching you guys. This right here is the center front. I also named the piece it is, which is the waist corset belt. And we need to cut 2 pieces of self, 2 interfacing, 2 lining, and I also labeled the size. Of course, we're going to be creating a test fit. This is what you'd want to do after creating a pattern so you know if it fits or not and what changes you may have to make. I am using some leftover fabric I've had from the pin cushion that I made because I don't have any more muslin left, but it's the same type of material. So now that we know that this fits, I think it's super cute. We can cut it out of our material, and I think I'm going to call it a night. I am getting super tired, and then we will resume tomorrow. But I'm gonna try to get that cut today so we can just start sewing tomorrow. I actually did the sewing of the corset waist off camera. The rippling of the fabric is caused by the interfacing, but once the pants are fully together, you don't really see this once it's on. Now we're going to create the boning strips. You're going to cut them 2 inches wide and the preferred length that you want. The boning I have on hand is from Mood Fabrics. I got this a long time ago, but I would get something a little bit more sturdier. This is a little bit weak and very bendable, but it did the job for now. To create your boning channels, you're going to fold 1/2 inch on both sides and then 1/2 inch again. Now that all of our boning strips and channels are created, we're going to cut the boning to the length that we desire. Make sure you leave about 1/2 inch on both ends to sew. I did a test trial sewing the boning strip so I could see what it looks like. To make it easier, you should pin it onto the waist so you could sew it on each ends of the boning strips. Okay, all of the boning strips are now sewn on, so now we can insert our boning into the channels. You're gonna find the opening and insert it. As you can see, I didn't leave enough space to sew on my seam allowance, so I did have to cut some of my boning. So the corset waist is complete for now. We have to move on to the pants so we can connect it and then add the lining. I am using one of my wide leg patterns and I extend it to create the pleats. I always pin the fabric at the waist and like the center crotch so it holds up on the mannequin or dress form, and then I just fold over the fabric to my desired waist length. This is so satisfying. I love how this looks. I continued the pleats on all of the pattern pieces of the pants, so front and back pants. Sewing over the pleats can be a little difficult. You want to make sure you remove all of your pins and don't sew over the pins. I completed the full assemble of the pants off camera, but this pants has pockets and I completed these in a lot of my other videos. So we're going to now pin the corset waist to the waist of the pant. So we're almost there, you guys. I love how this is coming out. I serged the seam that connected that waist, and now we're going to move on and add the lining. After you sewed all around the lining to the front, you're going to clip the corners so when you flip it over, it has sharp edges, as you will see here. Here I am pinning down the lining to the front so that way when I go to hand sew it, it stays flat and no excess fabric comes up. It's like day 5 right now, or day 6, and I am looking rough and ready to finish this project. If you made it this far, please subscribe and comment down below if you like this in-depth tutorial. So to create and add my grommets, I didn't have some of the tools that you need, so I used a awl to make my holes, and that worked for me, and also a seam ripper to widen the holes, and I was able to push my grommets through and made it work. So yes, you can do anything you put your mind to. For this project, I did order black grommets, but it didn't fit the presser tool that I had, and that tool is essential. You need that to press the grommets in. So I had to opt for brass or bronze. Let me know if you would have used silver or gold. I just had some ribbon on hand and then I just laced it through. This will be easier if you use a safety pin at the end of the ribbon, but I didn't have one that fit through, so I just had to make it work. Now it's reveal time!